Would you risk everything to save a helpless animal teetering on the edge of death? When Lawrence made that choice, what unfolded next defied all belief. Was it pure instinct, or something far deeper? The morning sun stretched across the vast savanna, casting long shadows over the golden grasslands. Once, a lion named Xander ruled these lands with unmatched strength. His powerful frame and thick, dark mane made him an icon of the wild, his roars thundering through the dawn, sending antelope fleeing and hyenas slinking into the shadows. But the relentless adversary of all living things had worn Xander down, his once sculpted muscles now sagging with age. His mane, once rich and full, had thinned and dulled, and an old hunting injury had left his front leg crippled, making each step a painful struggle. The once mighty king now wandered alone, abandoned by his pride, his kingdom reduced to fading memories. Hyenas, once his sworn enemies, no longer feared him. They followed him now, sensing weakness where strength had once reigned. Now, the hyenas no longer saw him as a rival, but as patient predators, waiting for the day he would fall. Miles away, a ranger named Lawrence Ward surveyed the savannah from his dusty patrol truck. But Lawrence wasn't just any ranger. He had watched Xander grow from a vibrant young cub into the legend he became. He admired the lion's spirit, seeing in him the raw, untamable heart of the wild itself. Lawrence knew Xander's days were numbered. His heart wrenched every time he spotted the old lion limping through the brush. He respected nature's laws, but a part of him couldn't bear the thought of Xander meeting his end to a pack of laughing hyenas every day. He searched for Xander, hoping to find him alive and fearing the day he wouldn't. The sun blazed high overhead. When Lawrence finally spotted Xander, the lion was staggering near a dried-up waterhole. His breath labored. Lawrence's relief turned to dread as he noticed. Movement in the tall grass behind him was hyenas, a dozen of them. Their eyes glinted with cruel anticipation. Lawrence's heart pounded. He watched helplessly as they closed in on Xander. Sensing the impending attack, he attempted to rally his failing strength. Despite his crippled leg, he braced himself low guttural, growl, rumbling from his chest. The first hyena lunged, and Xander, with a desperate burst of energy, snapped his jaws, the force of the bite sending a spray of dust into the air. He managed to fend off the initial assault, but the sheer number of his attackers was overwhelming. The hyenas swarmed with coordinated attacks. Relentless Xander roars once, a symbol of his power, grew weaker. Each of the following is a strained rasping sound. His movements, once fluid and powerful, became slower, more labored. His crippled leg hindering his ability to maneuver. He swiped with his paws, claws extended, but the hyenas were too quick, nipping at his flanks, his belly. He staggered his balance precariously with each stumble of victory for the ENC pack. The hyenas sensing their advantage, pressing their attack, their laughter echoing through the parched landscape. A cruel symphony of impending death, Xander, his eyes filled with a mixture of pain and defiance. He continued to fight in every movement, a testament to his will to survive. He tried to rise to stand his ground, but his strength was failing him. His body succumbed to the relentless assault. Lawrence's helplessness intensified as he witnessed Xander's desperate attempts. The lion's valiant struggle against impossible odds. Then Lawrence acted on instinct. He slammed his foot on the gas. The patrol truck was roaring forward. Dust kicked up behind him. As he barreled toward the scene, he leaned on the horn, its blaring sound cutting through the hyena's laughter and the dying roars of the lion. The pack hesitated, snarling. At the sudden intrusion, he collapsed, his sides heaving, the crimson spreading across his tawny coat. Lawrence didn't think he jumped from the truck, waving his arms and shouting. He grabbed a heavy branch from the ground, swinging it wildly. One hyena lunged at him. Lawrence barely dodged the beast's teeth, snapping inches from his leg. The hyenas circled him, torn between attacking and retreating. Lawrence's voice grew hoarse as he shouted, desperate to drive him back. Then one by one, the hyenas lost their nerve. They backed off, snarling, then turned and slunk into the brush. Lawrence's chest heaved. He turned to Xander, who lay still. His sides were rising and falling faintly. Lawrence dropped to his knees beside the lion. Xander's eyes, once burning with golden fire, were dull and unfocused. Blood matted his fur. Lawrence's throat tightened. "Stay with me, buddy," he murmured, knowing Xander couldn't understand, but the lion blinked slowly as if acknowledging him. Lawrence radioed the nearest rescue team. His voice was strained. "I've gotten injured. Lion, it's Xander. He's bad. I need help." The reply was immediate. "We're on our way. Hold on." Lawrence didn't wait. He grabbed his emergency first aid kit and began cleaning Xander's wounds. The lion twitched in pain but didn't fight him. Lawrence worked quickly. His hands were trembling every second. It felt like an hour. Finally, the distant sound of an approaching vehicle rumbled over the plains. The rescue team was close, but then a sickening grinding noise emanated from Lawrence's truck, followed by a sudden lurch. The engine sputtered and died. Panic flared. He glanced at Xander. His breath was shallow and ragged. The lion's life hung precariously in the balance. Lawrence knew he couldn't wait for the rescue team now. He had to get Xander to them. He scrambled under the truck. The smell of burnt oil stung his nostrils. He located the problem, a broken fuel line likely damaged during the frantic drive to save Xander. He cursed under his breath, his fingers fumbling with the tools. Time was running out. He worked feverishly, his mind racing with the image of Xander's fading eyes. Fueling his urgency, he found a makeshift patch in his kit, a piece of reinforced tubing and some clamps with trembling hands. He connected the broken line, tightening the clamps with all his strength. He slid back into the driver's seat, turned the key, and held his breath. The engine coughed, then roared to life. Relief washed over him. But there was no time to celebrate. He knew he had to drive in fast. The rescue team arrived, and together they carefully loaded Xander onto a stretcher. Lawrence climbed into the truck beside him, never taking his eyes off the lion at the rescue center. Veterinarians worked tirelessly. Xander's wounds were deep, but infection was the real threat. They cleaned him, stitched him up, and administered fluids and antibiotics. Lawrence never left his side. A silent vigil keeper day passed, and while Xander's breathing steadied, his body remained a fragile shell. He barely lifted his head. His once vibrant golden eyes were now clouded with a deep, unsettling sadness. Each time they flickered open, Lawrence was there speaking softly, encouraging him with gentle words, but the lion often responded with a distance. Almost vacant stare weeks passed, and while Xander began to eat again, his strength slowly returned in fits and starts. He was a strange creature. His once ragged fur grew back in patches, a physical reminder of his near-fatal encounter. He wasn't the mighty king he once was, and the trauma of his attack, the loss of his pride weighed heavily upon him. He became withdrawn, often retreated to the furthest corner of his enclosure. His gaze was fixed on some unseen point at times. A flicker of aggression would surface, a sudden snarl or a swipe of his paw, a manifestation of the fear and pain that still lingered. Lawrence understood the lion was grappling with more than just physical wounds. He was battling the invisible scars of a brutal assault, the shattering of his former dominance. Lawrence smiled the day. Xander let out a weak, rumbling roar. It wasn't powerful, a mere shadow of his former bellow, but it carried the heart of a lion who refused to give in, a testament to his enduring spirit. Even in the face of profound trauma, Xander never returned to the wild. His crippled leg and weakened body couldn't survive the harsh plains. Instead, the rescue center made him an ambassador, a living symbol of the savanna's harsh beauty and the profound bond between man and beast. Visitors traveled from far and wide to catch a glimpse of the lion who had once ruled the grasslands. Children gazed in awe at the scared, noble creature, their eyes wide with wonder and reverence. Lawrence watched from a distance, a complex swirl of pride and sorrow filling his heart. Xander was no longer the king he once was. His reign was now confined within the sanctuary's boundaries, yet in his eyes, the spirit of the savannah still burned, a quiet, enduring flame. One evening, Lawrence sat beside him, watching as the sunset painted the sky in gold and crimson, a final, breathtaking spectacle, as if Xander himself were bidding farewell to the dying light. Xander let out one final quiet roar, a sound that resonated deep within Lawrence's soul. It wasn't the thunderous roar of a king declaring his reign, but a softer rumble, a testament to survival and resilience. It spoke not of dominance, but of enduring spirit. For Lawrence, witnessing that quiet strength was more than enough. Lawrence's relentless determination and the lion's unwavering will to live remind us of the profound, unspoken bond between humans and the wild, and that every life, no matter how broken or battered, deserves a second chance. What do you think of this story? Let us know in the comments section. I hope you like this story. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Also subscribe and press the bell icon to never miss the update from our channel. Thank you.